Okay, it's Toby from Heavyweight MMA. Today with Anthony Drilich, who's a professional MMA fighter, babyface assassin, and eternal flyweight champ. How are you, bro?
I'm good, thank you.
Man, I was listening to some of your interviews. There's quite a few online, and I wanted to jump back to the days when you started MMA, bro. So you grew up in an area. Was it a rough sort of area? You're in Perth, or you started out in Logan, Queensland. Then you went to Perth, right?
Yeah, born in Logan Hospital. Grew up in an area or suburb called Bethania, near Logan. Then from there, I think in my early teens, I moved over to West Australia.
Nice, man. Hey, you mentioned a bit about like some of the clubs and that there, easy to get in a fight. Was it a pretty rough sort of area? You getting in trouble at school and that sort of thing growing up?
In Queensland or WA?
Probably WA, seeing as that's where you kind of kicked off your career.
I try to stay out of trouble, but obviously, as you get older, things do happen, and obviously you get into the odd scrap or two.
What's it generally like in Perth, man? Is it like quite common for people to punch on that?
I guess it depends who you are. I try to stay out of trouble as much as I can. I don't try to act like an idiot or nothing like that. But I guess it depends on the suburb you grew up in, what you get up to. But I think for myself, I stay out of it as much as I can, really.
It's kind of a funny thing, isn't it? Like martial artists and people that can fight, a lot of the time, probably the majority kind of stay away from fighting. Why do you reckon that is?
I think it's a bit of everything. Discipline, obviously, if you're doing martial arts, most of your time's been taken up by training. And I think it gets to the point where, that's your main focus, not just going out there and being some sort of like street brawler, kind of thug kind of guy, martial art becoming your life. And I think from that, it stems off, and I think you just become a better person. And obviously a lot of that aggression and frustration for others, you get that out of the gym and don't get that all pent up.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, man. Like just as a hobbyist myself, no professional fighting here, but as a hobbyist and a competitor in kickboxing and that before, I find like training, like I trained this morning, BJJ, you come to work and you don't feel like any conflict, right? Like you've gotten everything out, you've lost all your energy, you don't feel like fighting anyone, you know what I mean? So it kind of helps you, right, to be more calm.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's it, man. So you kicked off kind of following your father's footsteps, right? Your old man was a martial artist, did several different codes and that, and you kind of followed on. You said around the house you had weapons and whatnot, like different type of martial arts weapons and that. So it's kind of part of the lifestyle. Did you like get pushed into it, or you kind of just fell into it, man, as a young kid?
I fell into it. I was never really pushed. I was shown martial arts, and I think both myself and my brother just loved it. Once we were shown it, we're like, yeah, this is for us. We do enjoy it, and it became our life, really.
Yeah, man. And when you jumped into, you said you started BJJ first as a formal sort of training. You'd done a bit of striking before that with your old man. When you did that, was that something that you kind of found yourselves, or did your dad take you there, or what was the go?
If I can remember rightly, we moved to West Australia. I was probably like mid-teens around that time, early teens. We started off playing, like rugby and tried other sports, but we just didn't have the passion for it. And we looked around and we found a jiu-jitsu club at the time. It was called Best in Gracie.
Yep.
And Dad drove us down there. I think it was like a half an hour to 45-minute trip to get there. And he drove us every day, and we just loved it and enjoyed it. And he's like, all right, I'm willing to put the time in if you want to stick to this. And yeah, we did. We stuck to it and still doing it till today.
Nice, man. It's nice. When you kicked off in that, like you walked into the gym, you started training, did you had that instant sort of addiction to it, like that you really wanted to get back there every day? Was that your sort of feeling, or you just kind of went along and it just flowed in time?
100%. I think it became an addiction. We just loved it. Obviously, there was so much to learn, and at the beginning, you never like the hammer, you're the nail, but for us that was fine. I think most people can say the same thing. You just kind of get hooked, I guess. You love it. It's competitive, and it's martial arts. It's something if you stick to it, you'll definitely enjoy it.
Yeah. Actually, bro, just jumping back, I was watching you fight a bit before, man. I started sort of watching you a bit when you were supposed to fight Colby back then, because I've talked with Colby quite a bit and that, and trained with him a little bit. So I'm just kind of interested in seeing your style, and I was looking at you, wondering like, what's your background? But now I know, because I looked at some of your interviews, bro. And so you've got a Western dad and a Filipino Asian mum, right?
Yes, yeah.
It's kind of cool, man. Like, my kids are mixed too, bro. It's kind of
Nice.
makes me feel a bit for you, bro. But yeah, and I agree with one of your mates saying you should try and hook up that Filipino audience a bit, bro. Like, they got some great fighters, and they're really passionate sporting fans, man. Like, I'm living in a part of Asia, and anytime the Filipino teams come here, they're fully passionate and supportive, eh?
I love the sports. Like, obviously, MMA is a growing sport, especially in, I think, Philippines. I don't know about now, but
Yeah,
obviously they love boxing and Manny Pacquiao, you know.
exactly.
So hopefully, as time goes on, you know, things like MMA will be the new sport to come in to Philippines, and yeah,
Bro,
definitely rep.
they're pretty aware of it because of I would say largely due to ONE FC, you know, like ONE FC has a lot of good Filipino fighters in MMA and stand up as well, you know. So they're pretty aware of it. They're pretty passionate about that already. Some good guys fighting in ONE FC over the last probably, 5 or 6 years, you know, that are kind of building the sport over there. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. You got what's it, Team Lakai, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those guys are a bunch of killers. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm living in a place called Macau, China, and there's one of the guys who was in UFC called Mark over here, and he's from that team as well. Yeah, they're kind of good stand-up fighters, and they've worked in their defense over the years that they're pretty good at everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And the interesting thing about you, bro, starting MMA at 13, I think you said was it your first fight or you started at 13? No, you started at 13, right?
Yeah, I think I started around 13, and I had my first amateur fight around 16, 17.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, because like, the way people train now, like some young fellas like you, like young as in you're 29, but you've been training for 16 years, bro. That's pretty crazy, like compared to the old days where people started after they like maybe didn't go into college or something, they'll kick off into a sporting career like that. But now people are starting so young, yeah?
Yeah. I think I was obviously lucky to have my father who's already done martial arts. So I already had the taste of fighting or taste of martial arts itself. And obviously I think from that it stemmed into an addiction and a love for just any sort of martial art.
Man, a funny thing too, man. I believe that you actually pass some things through your DNA and that through your parents and that, like some sort of movements and stuff. I got some sons, bro. I got 4 sons, and I see them with some things that they do that you haven't taught them, or something they say that you haven't taught them, or something they like to eat that you haven't ever showed them, and stuff like that. There's weird things that come through kids. So you probably got a bit of the movement and that down from your dad or something anyway. Maybe a bit of the fighting spirit or whatever.
Maybe, yeah. Even probably, if you ask my dad, he'll probably tell it's my mum got that fighting spirit. But yeah, so
yeah. And bro, and those first couple of fights you were saying, like first fight you had when you were 16 or 17 in MMA, 10-second KO. It was against a big staunch dude, and then your second fight in 12 seconds, bro. Like, what a good start! You must have been stoked.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, so yeah, obviously I was starting at a heavy weight, and went in there and just threw down, and I was lucky to get that, those quick knockouts, and it's a good way to start and get the ball rolling.
Yeah, man. Well, the fights that I've watched of you now, you're always dangerous, eh? Like that KO of Michael Barber, that was like he was out of there before he even hit the ground, right? He was gone. And even that last fight with Jankowski, you nailed him heaps with your straight left, right? Like you just cracked him that many times that he could have been out. He's just got a good chin on him, right?
Yeah, he's a tough dude. I can give him that. Every time I hit him or drop him, he'll just spring back up. So I can give it to him. He came prepared.
Yeah. Hey, have you landed, talking about your potential fights in clubs and that, have you ever landed the big left? That'd be a go-to move, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like I'll hit it, but I'll pull back. I'm not there to like try to like injure anyone. Especially in training. I'm not a complete asshole.
What I mean is in the club, bro. So, like, not in the gym or in the clubs or something.
Oh, right,
so you just a gentle punch, is it? Or
like a nightclub you're talking about? Or?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I've been a couple of times, yeah. Obviously, too many drinks and whatnot, yeah.
Yeah. So you train at Scrappy MMA over in Perth, the likes of Jack Della
Yep.
over there. But you've also got your Drilich Combat Academy as well. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. Down in
Yeah.
Joondalup.
Nice, man. Can you describe the gyms a bit, bro? Like, what's your take on how they are to be training there? Because every gym's got a different kind of feeling about it.
Scrappy atmosphere is awesome. I do enjoy it. Like I've trained around the world. I've been to great places. I've been to places that are like, mediocre, things like that. Like
Yep.
but yeah, the atmosphere, the guys are great there, welcoming, good
Yep.
dudes. It's obviously very competitive. Having so many like guys who are fighting, and you're working every day, you're pushing every day. So there's not really anything bad I can say about Scrappy. You go down there, it's good old hard training, and everyone's got a smile on the face at the end of it, and yeah, do it the next day and the next day after that.
Nice, nice. What's the difference between that and the Drilich Academy, bro? Is that like a more holistic, like families and whatnot? I see you've trained in some kids and stuff, bro.
Yep, we got kids classes. Obviously, we've got people down at DCA that are just there to enjoy themselves and learn martial arts as well. And
Yep.
obviously, we're still a new gym. We've only been open roughly about 2 years now.
Yep.
So our fight team or people who can want to compete is still growing. We have a few guys, but hopefully as time goes on, we'll build that and get a good team of fighters and competitors, and
Yep.
hopefully I'll run through the rest of the world.
Yeah, nice, man. Where have you trained overseas, bro?
So I've trained in Texas under an ex-UFC fighter named Chris Brennan.
Yep.
So his gym, I believe, Next Generation in Frisco, Texas. I trained at Ross Mira, also a very high-level dude, amazing jiu-jitsu. He was in California, so I've been to those places in America.
Yep.
Where else have I been? Thailand, been to train Thailand, trained at AKA, trained at Phuket Top Team, things like that. Yeah.
Nice, man, nice. And a few of the guys I talk to, they feel like the Aussie gyms now have caught up, that training at a good Aussie gym is kind of just as good as training anywhere around the world. Do you feel that way?
Oh, 100%. Obviously, we've got guys who are just absolutely killing it in any promotion. Obviously, like UFC, we've got, we've got like Jack Della, of course. Got a lot of guys over east. You got Volko. So we've got these guys just from Australia just absolutely killing it and taking over. So I think this is the place to be.
Yeah, man. And I heard you mention Stephen Erceg in interviews. It must be a good guy for you to do a bit of training with, right?
Yeah, we train together. Like quite often at times. So yeah, Steve's a great dude as well. Great martial artist, respectful guy, and works hard. So it's always good to train with a guy like that.
That's it, man. I want to know a little bit about your training, bro. Like a professional fighter at the top of your league in Australia, like what does a week make up for you? Like, are you working as well, or your work is just around the gym?
Works pretty much the gym at the moment. So every morning I'm down at Scrappy training for however long it is, hour and a half, 2 hours. And then I'll either do, PTs during the day and train in the afternoon, whether it's down at DCA or down in Mandurah with Marcus McGeever. So I'm always training. Yeah, it's non-stop at the moment. So I just keep at it both morning and in the afternoon.
How do you break it down, bro? Is it like specific MMA, like basic, is it just MMA training, or you break it down to jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing, whatever?
So in the mornings at Scrappy, we have our program, I guess you want to call it, set out. So every day or each day is going to be a set thing we do, whether it's sparring, wrestling, things like that, working off the cage. So we work on those things, obviously very mixed martial arts orientated.
Yep.
And then in the afternoons, depending on what we're doing, it'd be jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, obviously MMA as well. So, we do both. I do both. Very, broad MMA things we do, then as well as, specific things, whether it's pure boxing, pure Muay Thai, things like that,
You train gi, bro? I heard, are you a BJJ black belt, was it? Did someone say that? Do you train gi?
Yeah. Not anymore. No. So,
I mean, for now, it's not really worth it, right? Like, you need to concentrate on what you're doing, and then that's something you could potentially follow later, right?
Yeah, I guess it's on the individual for gi. Some guys will still swear by it. For myself, I obviously prefer no gi. I find it it's for MMA practical, I guess I'd say.
Exactly.
Obviously, so no gi for me, and I'll probably stick to it for quite a while.
Yeah. And bro, you know, these days with the internet, bro, everyone's got all different ways of doing their diet, S&C, recovery, everything. Like there's a lot more science and art to it, and you know, so many options for it, bro. What sort of things do you do for that other side of your training?
So for dieting, I leave it to Peter Miller. He's a dietitian.
Yep.
So, I work with him. Writes me out a program. For recovery, I kind of do my own thing, whether it's things like ice baths, saunas, getting a massage. So, obviously time and place to recover and, get those joints healed up.
Yeah, man. And do you place much importance on stuff like sleep or other sort of rest?
I try to as much as possible. Yeah, obviously, you can definitely tell if you lack, you didn't get a good night's sleep. Your just performance the next day is not going to be 100%. And things like as well as like doing maintaining the body, whether it's massages, ice baths. If I feel like I just kind of hack it and go old school and just rough it out. I feel like as time goes on, especially getting older, your body starts to break down. So I do emphasize at times, recovering and get my body right.
Yep. Fair call, man. Coaches, I know I saw it noted down, Vickers and Brandon. Is Brandon your brother, Brandon Drilich?
Oh, yeah. Brandon's my brother.
Yeah, so you count those guys as your trainers. What are they like as trainers? What's their sort of strengths and how would you describe these guys?
So obviously my main coach is Ben Vickers.
Yeah.
Great guy. Pushes me every day, He doesn't let me just slack off, which is a lot of people are like, it is what it is. But, I do enjoy it. I know that he, when he's there and he's pushing on me, and I know that he's there to care for me, and he's like, all right, I want the best out of you. So whatever he says, or, even if he tries to, dig at me, I'm fine with it. I'll just, just go with it. And obviously got my brother as well. So he mainly coaches me in the afternoons.
Yeah.
Same kind of guy. So I guess I'm just kind of used to those I guess hard bastards who just push up. Yeah,
I think you mentioned that your brother fought before or fights as well, right?
Yeah. So he's fought. He still competes here and there. He's had multiple shoulder surgeries. He's had serious problems with his shoulder and things like that. So it's put him out for quite a while when he was really starting to get going in MMA.
Yeah.
So obviously I've taken over. I'm representing us. And obviously I'd like my brother to be fighting professionally as well right beside me, but it is what it is. This is life and things do happen, whether it's injuries or things like that. So my brother does more behind the scenes than I do. So I'm the face of it, I guess, to an extent, and he runs everything else.
Yep. Fair enough, bro. Hey, I saw that you had one loss to Michael Mannu only. And if I find that guy interesting because he recently fought Emrehan Hekimoglu. What do you think of that guy? What do you think of that fella?
Emrehan?
Yeah.
He's a good talker. I can give him that. Yeah. I haven't watched a huge amount of him, but what I've seen, he's good. Obviously, whatever he says and does, it works for him. So I can give him that.
Yeah.
Entertaining dude. So
Yeah.
Hey, as long as
he talks a good game, but that was kind of like poetic justice when Michael beat him, I guess.
It is always nice to see that happen to people. Obviously he's an entertainer, but when guys like to shit talk and things like that, and it like they get put out or they lose, you're just like, it is what it is.
Yeah, man. It was I do think I give him a win for that call after Colby fell out of that fight, the Colby Chickness call with the chicken.
Colby Chickness. Didn't he bring a chicken as well?
What's that?
Didn't he bring a chicken with him as well to weigh in or something like that?
I'll give him that. That was pretty good, bro. Like I haven't seen that's up there with some of the best, even in international interviews and stuff for fighting. That was pretty funny, but
it's good. It's entertaining.
I'd like to see those guys fight though. That'd actually be a decent fight,
Yeah,
be good to see.
Sure.
Yeah, right. So on that, what sort of opponents are you looking at? Obviously, you've got an opponent coming up that you can't talk about for the belt. But
Yep.
across the scene, like any guys that particularly interest you in, I guess, within Eternal or any other organisations that you like to fight?
No, not really. Like, I just go fight by fight, to be honest. You know, whoever
Yeah,
they
yeah,
put in front of me, I'll just get prepared for it.
yeah,
I don't see it as trying to line up certain dudes to fight them. I just see it as, hey, like, whoever's in the way, that's the next guy that's gonna be in the receiving end. So,
yeah,
you know, whoever they throw at me, I'll go, all right, well, I'll get prepared for him and do what I can and see if I can put this guy out, whoever it may be. So, yeah, obviously, my main goal is just to get to the UFC or,
yeah,
these massive promotions and be the
yeah.
best I can be, really. You know, keep it
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah, bro. So on your fight coming up on Eternal 82 in February, you mentioned that you've had a recent change of opponent, which we can't discuss as yet. It was supposed to be Jake Hurl. That's kind of disappointing to change
Yep.
at this sort of point. But yeah, you feel okay about the fight? You feel like you're still going to be good?
Yeah. Um, yeah, like, well, I still got about a month, so that's fine. It is what it is. It's not the first time this has happened to me.
Yeah,
So, yeah, just get ready for him and go in there and try to put this guy out, and get on to the
yeah,
next fighter and do the exact same thing.
yeah. So that's the prediction. The big left hand, oof, KO,
Whatever
10
I can
seconds.
land and put on him and whatever I can submit him with, I'll take it, I'll
Yeah.
grab his neck, grab
Actually,
his arm.
yeah, when I first watched the first fight I watched of yours was like I said, you were leading up to fight Colby at the time, and I was watching. If I thought you were like a boxing background just because of your like stance and your throw, like heavily on that left hand. But yeah, learning a bit more about you, like well-rounded MMA fighter
Yeah.
with a lot of ground fighting too. But you look like a boxer in that particular fight. I can't remember which one it was I watched. Yeah,
I've done quite a few years. It's just pure boxing. I had a
yeah,
break doing jiu-jitsu, then signed up to a boxing club and did, straight boxing. So maybe that's where it
yeah,
stems from. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I fight. But yeah,
yeah. Bro, so that Eternal 82 got Quillen Salkilld, one of your hometown guys or Perth
yep.
guys anyway, versus Don Marfan. I'm pumped for that fight, bro. What do you think of that one?
Obviously, I'm all for Salkilld winning. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
yeah,
good dude. Obviously, I don't know him personally. We've met and talked and that. Great guy.
yeah,
Friends with the Jimmy trainer, the owner. So yeah, hopefully he wins. But I'm there to watch a great fight. I don't
yeah,
really pick sides, I guess you'd say. But yeah, if I had to choose who wins that, I'd obviously choose him. I don't know too
yeah,
much about Fam. So was his name
yeah.
Don Fam?
Don Marfan. Yeah,
Don Fun. Yeah, I don't know too much about him. So yeah, I can't obviously.
yeah. He's pretty
My
pumped, bro.
predictions,
And
yeah.
he's pretty driven dude, and yeah, it's going to be a good one, bro. I think they're both at the top of their game at the moment, so it's going to be a good match, bro. I'm looking forward to it, eh?
I think,
Man,
yeah.
so you've got this fight coming up. I know again people don't like to look too far in front of them, but what would you like to happen in 2024? What's the sort of goal?
Get a call from UFC. I'll say is the main goal.
Yeah,
So yeah, just keep winning, keep putting these guys out and put a good show on, and hopefully I'll get the call and off I go in the fighting in the UFC. I think that's the main goal.
nice, bro. How many fights would you like to have, be it in Eternal or UFC or whatever? Like, what's your sort of goal for the year?
Well, one or two more, hopefully. Then
Yeah,
from there, go on to the next. But yeah, I don't want to obviously be fighting like non-stop in Eternal, and then I hit 31 or something, and then UFC calls me, like, which I'll still take, but
yeah,
hopefully I can put a few good fights together,
yeah.
and from there just get the call, get there as quick as I can.
Nice, man. Have you ever fought overseas or just locally?
I haven't fought MMA overseas. I've only competed in jiu-jitsu overseas.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing, though. That's a good little grounding, right, to get a bit of experience over there. Where would you do that? In the
Yeah,
States?
yeah, states. So I competed Texas and California on jiu-jitsu. So gave me a good taste of competition there, as well as
Yeah,
just being out of your hometown, out of Australia in general, and
yeah,
yeah, going there out of your comfort zone and being in another place and competing
yeah.
there. So yeah,
No, it's good, man. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, getting out of your comfort zone, and then also if you get the chance, bro, it's a good thing, right? You get to look around the world. Some of the fighters I talk to, Dan Hooker, etc., say it's one of the best things. you know, about being a pro fighter. You get to travel around and experience things, experience countries and that. So, yeah, good luck if you
Definitely.
get there, bro. Yeah. Cool. All right, man. That's all the questions I had today. Thanks very much for your time. I appreciate it, and looking forward to your fight, be it with a new opponent. I'll be waiting to see who that is, and I'll have a look at him. Cool.
Cheers, Toby.
All right, bro. Thanks a lot, man. Cheers.
Thank you.